download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Welcome to today's America. Viewers round the world, also United States of America. Millennium TV 24 News. Today we have a guest, George Otis. He is one of the climate activist and specialist. He working his life for climate. In the world, we have a lot of issue. Number one issue as a pandemic. Number two, this is not a number two, the one also emergency. Number one, our all government, they did summit in Glasgow, England. What they did, they meet together to make all lie together, doing nothing. United States and UN, one of the problem maker, not solver. And we like to see they can do something for our planet and our world. Today, our guest, George Otis, he gonna explain everything. Mr. George, how are you, my brother?
I'm very well, Nur. How are you today?
I am okay. We are okay. In the studio, we are working round the clock. Listen, tell us what is going on in Glasgow. Whole world leaders meet there. But everywhere in the world, all corner, disaster and disaster. What's happened? What we can do for that?
Yeah, well, I mean, this recent conference is just like Paris, Rio de Janeiro, Kyoto. I mean, they talk a lot, they do nothing. And so we can't really rely on our politicians to solve our problem. We have to do it ourselves. And that's why I've been promoting this idea of converting our capitalist system in every country of the world from a system that makes people who are already too rich richer and who are stopping us from fighting climate change to a capitalism where we go and buy products in supermarkets and stores, and the profit from the products we buy are used directly to fight climate change. This is a way of fighting climate change that bypasses, doesn't need the politicians.
Exactly, our politicians, our community leaders, they run the country. We need leaders to solve the problem. In the world, we have right now our United States envoy, ex-Secretary of State, ex-Senator John Kerry. He working round the clock. So we can make any plan, and our community leaders, our youth and yourself, we can meet with the John Kerry and we can urge the leaders do something. What do you think?
Well, yeah, and then part of this project strategy that I'm advocating is why aren't the politicians doing what we need them to do? because they're listening to their donors, the people who finance their campaigns so they can win election and win re-election, right? So the idea behind this is like, shoppers go to supermarkets, buy products, and then the profit from the sale of those products are going to candidates, political candidates that will do something about climate change. Those candidates who today are just talking and not doing anything, we need to vote them out of office, and we need the money to do that. That's where this idea comes in. We can generate hundreds of millions of dollars each year, to perhaps even billions, to bring in the politicians that will finally address climate change.
Exactly, one of the country, Brazil, in the Amazon area, whole Amazon, Brazil, Colombia, and some other nation on the corner. But they are destroying Amazon. They are destroying the planet. So what our leader they are doing right now? They cannot say anything.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Nur. Yes, you're right. I mean, that's, this isn't just the United States. This is like, Brazil, China, across the world. And the problem is that, like, when they see us here in the United States doing nothing, that gives them license to do as little as possible. So yes, we're going to address Brazil, the Amazon rainforests. We're going to address the entire problem with every country, because this climate rescue capitalism, it can be used not just in the United States, but across the world.
These days, like some part of India, state of Tamil Nadu, destroy, flood. Every single day, they have a continuous rain, overflow water from the river, and people's livelihood, everything is destroyed. And also Philippines. Also, somewhere Indonesia, Java, our leaders in the world community, they have to be wake up. If they do not wake up, our planet is destroyed. We are destroying, and our leaders, they just have a voice, doing nothing.
Yeah, and they don't understand the future very well, because they believe that, especially those of them who are rich and powerful, they believe that they will be able to escape the effects of climate change. Their children and grandchildren will, while the rest of the country, the planet is destroyed, and the world's population. They don't understand human nature. When things get bad enough, the countries of the world who are being impacted, the people, not just outside of the United States, but within the United States, are going to change the equation. So, like, we either all thrive with addressing climate change in the best way, or we all go down. I don't think we're not going to allow some people to escape it just because they have more money and more power.
In the world, we are seeing they are fighting for their muscle. They are fighting for their arm race. What's happening is Europe and NATO countries and Ukraine, Russia, United States, they are destroying majority of the world, but they are right now is arm race. They cannot save the planet, they're going to destroy him. So what is your voice? What is our voice? We can work for the whole planet, and we can work for the humanity.
Yeah, I mean, this is a problem throughout the world. It's not just the rich and powerful in the United States, it's the rich and powerful in China and Russia, across the entire planet, every country. And so the idea is, like, again, we have to look at the basic problem. Why are these people getting elected? Because it's not just in the United States. Rich people are paying a lot of money to basically buy our politics, buy our government. That's what we need to address. We need to, like, raise the funds and the awareness. Like this is about climate rescue capitalism, right? Just the idea that, like, when we're giving people the opportunity to change the world, to fix the world every time they go shopping. Right, but then they have to understand, well, the way we're going to do this is like you buy products from companies that are using their money to fight climate change, but they're using that money to give to these politicians, these new politicians that we will vet beforehand to be sure that once they're elected, they're going to be doing the right thing. So this is a system, it's basically replacing the politicians of every country who are not doing anything. That requires money. And like if we convert our capitalism into a system where when we go shopping, we are basically financing this replacement of the old politicians with the new ones, that I think is really going to ramp up the work on climate change rapidly.
If coming generation, young generation is coming day by day, grow upping and coming on politics. We see so many countries, but when they come to power, they are getting greedy. You can see Saudi Arab, you can see Arab Emirat, you can see all Middle East. Their young generation now is the kingdom, running the kingdom, but they are not, they are just working for their oil, and they destroy planet too. They, they have to take the new version, all machinery, all kind of equipment to take the oil from the river, ocean, but they do not do it. They are destroying whole of the world. They are supplying the oil whole of the world, and they are destroying planet. And what is the viewpoint for you, for Middle Eastern people, this all kingdom?
Yeah, well, Nur, the view for the Middle East is the view for the entire world. Basically, a couple of hundred years ago, late 1700s, the world awoke to the injustice of kings and queens running everything, monarchies, feudalism, right? And we launched revolutions where we took power from them and established democracies. Okay, that needs to happen in more of the world. But now what's happened in countries like the United States is like the monarchy has been replaced by a plutocracy, which is just a group of rich people running, the politics. And that is the problem. The law that has to be enacted, not just in the United States, but throughout the entire world, is like, if you're rich, you can't contribute any more to politics than the poorest person. Or actually, basically, through taxes, we can publicly finance political campaigns, so no one candidate will have a financial benefit or a financial advantage over the other candidates. And that's the way. Once we get money out of politics, that's how we can help, basically move the monarchies that still exist, like in the Middle East, move them to be true democracies. And like the United States, we're not a true democracy. If we were, money wouldn't be running our politics. But that's the answer. To basically, we need to get people to understand that money no longer belongs in politics, and we need to disallow it.
You are right. Our United States, we call our democracy country. But I see my eyes and my viewpoint, this is United States run by Great Britain, kingdom. Whatever the kingdom and whatever the British leaders say and advise United States, they are doing the work with Britain. Why is that?
Well, I mean, Britain is just as capitalist as we are. The rich in Britain control their government too. So, to the extent you suggest that the British are really calling our shots, it's the rich in Britain. So they have the same problem. They allow money in politics. To get those people who are running, our politics to whatever extent they are out, it's the same goal. Get the money out of politics. That's really the central message.
I know you don't want to get into the politics, and you talking the climate and humanity. One thing, everything destroy our human being in the world. We are talking revolution for the climate. Our young generation fight for that. Young lady Tumba from Sweden, she did lot of hard work. Her group is still doing the hard work, but our leaders, they are shameless. They don't do any job. Not in America, whole of the world. And you can see in Glasgow, Chinese president, Chinese representative, they do not show up. Also, Russia. This is the huge, big planet. They are destroying the world too. Every day we are doing the arm race. We are doing the space race. Now we are doing satellite race. So many races. Also, now we are sending the tourists to Mars, space. We are doing what? Those billionaires, they cannot invest any money for the climate. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, the basic problem is that these rich people are running the show. Politicians, we cannot rely on either the United States or China or Russia or any political body. We cannot rely on the politicians to solve this problem. Because, as you say, they are corrupt. They basically listen to the people who are giving the money. And so we need to get people aware of that. We need to get people, and it's not just about climate change, as you were mentioning. There's so many other problems, and the way we do this is to get people to understand our problem is corrupt politicians, and the answer to that problem is to get the money out of politics. So let me return back to the climate rescue capitalism. This is a way to do that doesn't cost people anything. Let's say a person goes to a supermarket and spends $100 on groceries, right? So the profit from those $100 may be $20, $30. It depends on the marketing and all. But let's say they just donated $20, $30 that shopping trip to the cause of getting money out of politics, of electing politicians who are sincere about their wanting to address climate change. And that's how we change the system. That's how we change the world. We convert our shopping, our supermarket shopping, online shopping into opportunities for a true democracy. So every time we're buying something, we're making our buying democratic. We're saying, well, I'm going to buy this product, but I don't want the profit to go to a rich person who's going to stop us from fighting climate change. I want the profit from this product to go to fighting climate change, to electing the right kinds of leaders. And then, once we do that, then we'll be able to rely on our leaders to do the right thing.
George, stay with us. We're going to go short break, and within second, we're going to be back with Today's America. Viewers, stay with us.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Viewers, we are back on Today's America. Today we are talking about climate and humanity, human path in the world. We are destroying our humanity and climate, and we do not solve it. If we do not solve these things, world gonna be crushed, human path gonna be destroyed. Our leaders, politicians, community leaders, and us, we have a duty to do that. So we have a guest, Mr. George Ortiz. He is one of the climate activist and specialist. We are talking about the world climate today. Mr. George.
Yes, thank you, Nur. Yes, I mean, I'm optimistic. I really, I understand the danger before us. It's a dire danger that will last for decades, but I'm optimistic that, especially after this era here in the United States of Donald Trump, the insurrection, January 11th, people are tired of the corruption. People are tired of the lying. So just as people lie, politicians lie about other issues, they lie to the public about climate change. So the reason I'm optimistic is our young kids are a lot more intelligent than people were in my generation. They understand it, and I think it's just a matter of time. But this, I'm here on your show, Nur, to just help explain how we can do this, how we can turn things around so we can basically save the climate, launch that major effort in a way that doesn't require the politicians. Basically the politicians coming afterwards. We raise a lot of money through climate rescue capitalism. We say to them, listen, either you start doing what you need to do, what you're supposed to be doing to fight climate change, or we're going to finance a candidate who will defeat you, in the next election. So either you do the right thing, or we will vote you out of the office.
The world like United States, Brazil, China, Russia, India, South Africa, these few countries, if we make new technology, everything, car, flight, and daily life, all kind of new technology, how to clean the air, how to save the air, and how to clean the water, how to clean the all planet. So probably is going to be work. So what is your advice to our government around the world, what they can do and what they can start with that?
Right, in terms of strategies, basically we need to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions, sequester carbon that's already in the atmosphere. And one way to do that the politicians don't nearly talk enough about is nuclear fusion. Basically, many of our carbon-based energy sources are a source of problems. So if we can solve nuclear fusion, and it may take a decade or two, I'm not sure, but this is a major component because that would give us, unlimited energy. We need energy to reverse the climate change effects. And so basically from a technological standpoint, what our politicians should be letting us know about things like this. Most people don't realize that nuclear fusion is a powerful answer to this. So our politicians need to get us much more informed about what we need to do. Once we understand that, we can rally around what needs to do. Get done this.
China, Russia, and United States, European Union, they are fighting for their muscle right now. And they are talking about they're going to start nuclear war. If America help Ukraine, Russia, China, they are together. They're going to be attack United States with nuclear. Today's in news in worldwide, AP, Reuters, also MSNBC and New York Times, they saying Biden is totally soft for Ukraine. Ukraine do not care for us. Ukraine part of Russia. They are talking same language. They are living, their livelihood, everything is together. So what reason we are fight for? And our taxpayer money goes where? In the ocean? We can save the planet. We can save the climate with those money. Why we are destroying ourselves? What do you think?
Yeah, let me address the first point you made, that basically these politicians, not just in this country, but throughout the world, they are threatening nuclear war. But, one thing we can be sure of is that we're not going to have a nuclear war, because that would destroy the lives of the powerful and rich people who control the planet. That's something they could not escape. So to the extent you're hearing news reports of people saying, this is fear-mongering. This is trying to get people afraid of nuclear war so that we become docile, so we don't vote the politicians out of office. So, and again, this problem is, as you've been mentioning over and over, it's a global problem. It's not just here. And the thing with China and the Ukraine, yes, Biden's strategy apparently now is to impose economic sanctions. We just we're not right now in the mood for war, to send people over to kill people, and so but my wider point is, yes, Ukraine is important, but so is Africa, the African countries that are so poor. There's a lot of problems in the world, and yes, we need to address them. But we have to understand that the problem behind each of them, the Ukraine, because come on, Russia is a dictatorship. Putin is just calling the shots. They need to establish a democracy. So the answer across the board is to get these corrupt politicians out. Don't go for their fear. Don't accept and allow them to make us afraid so we won't do anything. No. We have to understand that, no, we're not going to have a nuclear war. That, if anything, they should be afraid, because the world is finally onto them. The world is finally onto no, they're not working for the people, they're working for the corporations and the rich, and we can no longer afford that. This pandemic showed that, climate rescue capitalism showed that, the January 6th insurrection showed that, this whole 4 years of Trump, we have lost our national dignity. The man insults everyone. He's but you want to know something though, Trump, I think, has been a blessing in disguise, because he's awoken by his atrocious behavior. He has awoken people to the understanding that it's not just the Republicans here in the United States, it's also the Democrats who are not doing anything. So I think, again, I'm optimistic, because I think the world is waking up to what our problem is, which is corrupt politicians and getting money out of politics. So I'm very optimistic that yes, we will address these issues like Ukraine. There's a lot of smaller issues that need to be addressed, but that we will also finally awaken to what we need to do to take back our world.
Territorial country and fundamentalist and mental sick, so many leaders in this earth, like Russian president. Same thing, Brazilian president. Also, same thing, Venezuelan president, Chinese Communist Party leaders. Also, if you go Middle East, Benjamin Netanyahu, one of the leaders. Same thing, Donald Trump, and Donald Trump friend Saudi king and Arab Emirat king. Saudi Arab, Arab Emirat, they are making nuclear plan right now. As of today, almost they are finished. But Iran making nuclear plan last 20 years. They try to attack Iran. World community talking Iran. Why they do not talking Arab Emirat, Saudi Arab? What is the issue?
Well, Nur, with politics, especially the politics of nuclear war, it's difficult to ascertain whether they're conveying messages that are accurate or not, I hope I trust that the people who are in control of the world, understand the danger of nuclear war well enough to avoid it. But the thing is, the other part of this that we haven't spoken about much recently is this idea that here in the United States and in so many countries of the world, it is legal to lie, to lie to the public. To Trump, I mean, those people who invaded our Capitol building, in a certain way they were patriots. They were lied to. They believed that the election was stolen, and so they believed that they were doing the right thing. Now, these kinds of lies, are becoming more and more dangerous to the world. Climate capitalism, climate change is a perfect example. We were lied to for decades. Oh, it's not a problem, And so, along with getting the money out of politics, getting good politicians, and it has to happen throughout the entire world. Russia, the Middle East, everywhere. We have to move these dictators out of power, replace them with the democracies. But along with the financing, through climate rescue capitalism and other initiatives to do that, we need to, as a world population, say enough with the lies. No, you do not. And make them pay the price. I mean, what's happened here in the United States is people are being sued, now for misrepresenting people, for lying about people, and that needs to happen. It's this is something that is not appreciated, it's very underappreciated throughout the entire world. Allowing our politicians to lie legally, and that's what our system is now, is confusing everyone about so much. And if we want a bright future, that is one of the fundamental changes we need to make.
You are 100% right. Our coming generation, probably someone coming on the leading point in the world, they can do good job for our humanity, our climate. And one thing, you bring the January 6th and Donald Trump. Our New York State Attorney General, she is working round the clock to arrest Donald Trump. Today, AP, also New York Times, they report since January 7 to as of today, our Attorney General, State Attorney General, she put so many investigation against Trump. Trump is New Yorker. He is money maker from New York high-rise building. But he is one of the crucial president in our lifetime. He destroyed the world. He destroyed the democracy. He destroyed humanity. He destroyed American Environmental Control Board. Everything. Still, our millions of Americans support him. What is going on?
Yeah, well, Trump is absolutely going to prison. He's going to prison for the rest of his life, because if we don't imprison him, we open up ourselves to what's known as the January exception. The January exception is if we let him off the hook, then any president after him in January could pretty much do whatever they want and not fear consequences. So basically, we're going to imprison Trump because we're not going to lose our democracy. We're not. And then the other thing that Trump destroyed was the Republican Party. People don't. It's not on people's radars yet. But what Trump did on January 6th was an insurrection. He was attempting to take over the country, and people don't sufficiently understand that now. But over the coming months, leading up to the 2022 midterms, people will be very clear in understanding exactly what he did, exactly how he's so dangerous to our country, and why he needs to be in prison. But then, after that, that's just the beginning, because there are so many Republicans that supported him back then, continue to support him, and so they're going to be like, voted out of office, discredited, disgraced as traitors to our union. So, yes, Trump, like I said, Trump is a kind of blessing in disguise, because his atrocious behavior was so over the line. He overreached so far that we reached the point where, all right, now it's our turn to push back against what he's done. And he's finished, and the Republican Party is finished. And so many of the kind of people who promote lies in the media, they're going down too. They're going out. Now, again, I'm not saying that the Democrats are angels, because we have to reform them also. But basically, imprisoning Trump, imprisoning the people who he worked with on that day, that insurrection, that's a first step. We reformed the Republican Party, we reformed the Democratic Party, and then finally, we can address these issues that matter to everyday people, climate change, poverty, medical research, education.
But one thing research found in the world, this we do not care for climate, probably this pandemic came from there, somewhere on air, and they are right now whole world killing so many people every single day, so many variant coming, Omicron, Delta, and every day they changing their habit. So do you think this is coming for climate, or this is human maker or God gifted?
Yeah, no, you're exactly right, Nur. It's been demonstrated over the last decades, as the climate has become warmer, we've had more and more pandemics. And that trend is not just expected to continue, it's expected to accelerate. It's a major problem. And yes, I want to shift from politics to I believe in God. I believe there's a God that, I don't understand why God does so many things, but I believe this pandemic and climate change is a wake-up call to our world. The way we treat animals in farms. This pandemic, started on an animal farm, and here in the United States, throughout the world, there are many farms, where the animals are kept in such horrible conditions that are ripe for pandemics. That's where these pandemics originate. So yes, we've got a major so God is telling us, through this pandemic, through Trump, we need to change. And that's why I'm so confident, because at the end of the day, we care about our future. We care about the world we're going to live in, the world our children are going to live in. And so I think we're finally, all this, this conglomeration of plagues and insurrections is coming together to finally get us to understand what we need to do.
These days, China and some other nations, they are making artificial food, like egg, rice, vegetable. You know that, huh?
Yeah, no, it's even more than that. I did a television series on what's known as cellular agriculture, where they're actually growing meat and fish and dairy in labs in a way that not only doesn't hurt animals, it also protects us from pandemics. And the meat and dairy and fish and stuff that we eat now is filled with unhealthy fats and cholesterol. So they're working in 5-10 years at the most, we're going to be able to go to supermarkets, restaurants, and buy these meat products and dairy and fish products and eggs that are grown in labs and incidentally, 15% fewer greenhouse emissions, because the livestock industry contributes about 15% to greenhouse gases. So yes, this new industry is going to, when we make these new food products, the meat and dairy and eggs, we're going to put healthy fats and healthy cholesterol, these healthy ingredients. So basically, we're going to be much healthier. The planet is going to be much healthier. The animals aren't going to be. So that's another major revolution that's coming.
I just read couple of days ago, New York Times, Washington Post, also MSNBC, Fox, they broadcast, they found artificial meat sandwich on McDonald's, and they selling these things. And these things, researchers, doctors, they told do not eat this kind of food. Is going to be cancer. You're going to be hell. So our government and our lawfully all authorities, why they do not do anything for that? American people is dying for these things. What is our job as a communication and media personnel, as a journalist? My job to wake up the people, and our community leaders, activists, they have to work together to help the human path, help the American. What do you think?
Yeah, you're completely right. We need to like start working, but you mentioned something before that we need to push back against, because like I've researched the technology of growing meat in the labs, and so like my guess is the livestock industry, the people who have farms with chickens and cows and pigs, they probably financed this person, these scientists, to lie to the public, because these new food products, they're exactly, biologically, they're exactly the same as the meat products we buy now. They're basically taking cells from an animal. Instead of growing them in an animal, they simply grow them in the lab. So it's a completely natural process. So that the fears that like they're going to give us cancer and no, as a matter of fact, they're going to make us much healthier. They're going to reduce cancer rates. They're going to reduce heart disease rates, reduce so many kinds of conditions that are a result of the livestock industry.
Very nice. So, Mr. George, our time almost end for today. We're going to talk about some other day, other time for this planet and this climate, humanity. Okay, my brother?
Thank you so much, Nur. It's been a pleasure being here again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Viewers, for today, our time is end. Whatever you are, please watch Today's America and Millennium TV 24. We are on all iOS device, Android device. Also, we are on all smart TV like Samsung, LG and Sony. Also, we are on Apple TV, Roku TV and Amazon Fire TV. Viewers, our social networks, all social networks address is Millennium News 24/7. Our YouTube channel address, Channel M, News M 24. Viewers round the world, also United States, our inside, outside, international, our friends, colleague, working round the clock for us, news, views, talk show, all documentary. We are proud of their work and their knowledge. Whatever you are, please stay fit, safe and healthy. Goodbye and take care.